Video. Notes for the interview. Yes, hi! Yeah, so I've never interviewed anyone via video before. This is awesome. I don't know how this is gonna go. It's great. I am Betsy Bird, and I am interviewing Dan Santat. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Dan Santat, he's done a couple picture books you probably have seen. The Secret Life of Walter Kitty, The Ghosts of Luckless Gulch, and, most recently of all, Chicken Dance! Woo! So, Dan, so happy that you are joining us today. I guess this is normal for you because you do a lot of video stuff, and I do a little video stuff, but I don't do a lot of it. So this is kind of, so it's cool. I guess my first question actually works into that. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, I wish Dan Santat did all the book trailers out there. And I happen to almost agree. And I wondered, how do you get your ideas for your book trailers and for your other video things? And how did you get into it in the first place? It's awesome.
It all started with a flip video camera that I got one Christmas. Then I started goofing around with iMovie on my Mac laptop. I am not an animal. Oh wait, that's me. Then when my kids were born, I started making movies of their births. iMovie was a really simple program to use, so it didn't really take that long for me to learn it at all. Eventually, I picked up a program called Adobe After Effects, and then I started tinkering with special effects. If there was anything I wanted to find out, I could find it on YouTube. Eventually, after I realized that I was done with the book project, I would look around and I had all these leftover art assets left over. So I decided, why not make a book trailer? In early 2008, I created my first book trailer. I figured, no one spends money to promote my book. No one asks me to go on book tours. Why don't I make the effort to go out and try to promote the book on my own? I've been to book events where nobody shows up, and it's a horrible feeling. And sometimes I ask myself, to a certain extent, I wonder if book tours are even effective. So I thought to myself, well, let's just put something up on the internet. That way, if you really want to know about a project, you can Google it and find out more. I'm still trying to feel my way around the internet in terms of finding effective promotion, but I do feel like something's there. I think Sterling Publishing was the first publisher that I worked with that really embraced the idea of online marketing. Aside from it being a great book, people are blogging about it and talking about it. Who knows, maybe we're doing something right. All I know is this. In this day and age, every book that's out there can get every little bit of help it can get in order to sell books. And even if my efforts don't help, I'm having a lot of fun making book trailers, and I'm going to keep making them as long as I work. That's funny stuff. What? That's comedy gold!
Well, you didn't think that was comedy gold? What? Drama queen. That actually sort of takes me into my next question. How did you get into children's book publishing in the first place? I mean, it's very cool, but how does one become an illustrator?
Well, you see, it's like this. One time a close friend of mine said to me, "Dude, you should go to art college." To which I coolly replied, "Word." We bumped fists, and it was as if I had a revelation, and the rest was history. I wish I could say it was that easy, but it wasn't. Right out of high school, I went straight to a four-year college and got a degree in microbiology. I was going to go to dental school and be a dentist. One day during my senior year of school, I cut through a job fair so I could make it to class. At this job fair, there was a booth for an art school up in San Francisco, so I decided to take a closer look. I had no idea you could make a living in art. So I spent the next few months putting together an art portfolio, applied to a bunch of different schools, and I ended up at the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena. It was the first kind of formal education of art I ever had in my life. I tried my hand at different forms of animation, but I realized it was such a cumbersome and time-consuming project that I wasn't having any fun doing any of the storytelling. This hippo took me 10 weeks to make 1 minute of film, and so I decided to find a better way to do storytelling. And that's when I discovered picture books. I went to bookstores, libraries. I studied everything I could about book publishing. I eventually joined the SCBWI. Eventually, after 1 year out of art school, I mustered up the courage to go to a national conference. And that's where I met my editor, Arthur Levine. He saw my art portfolio and a dummy book that I'd been working on. 1 week after meeting him, he offered me my first 2-book deal. The first book, which became The Guild of Geniuses, which was released in 2004. 5 years later, I'm still here. Something in my eye. I'm sorry, can we cut the music? Cut the music. Next question.
Yeah. Any desire to write and illustrate your own books? Oh, like a comic book?
Well, as I said before, in 2004 I had my own picture book called The Guild of Geniuses, but that was a long 5 years ago, so it's easy to forget. Since then, I've been spending the last 5 years working on a graphic novel. Here it is, all 220-something pages of it. 5 years? What have you been doing, Dan?
I bought a house, had a kid, worked full-time at a video game company, and I had my own cartoon show on ABC Disney Channel. Then I had another kid.
And this was all while I was still illustrating other people's books. A new house and 2 kids can add a little stress to your financial situation.
So, here it is. A graphic novel is something you have to devote all your time to, and it's a ton of work. The story was based on an idea that I came up with in art college. In a nutshell, it's about superhero house pets and sibling rivalry. It should hopefully be out in shelves by 2011. I call it The Domesticated Four.
And then after that, I move right on to another picture book that I wrote about imaginary friends.
Cool. Follow-up question, or maybe it's just the same question reworded. Is there anything you haven't done that you would like to do?
I think it would be cool if I could clone myself, so I could get twice as much work done. It's been pretty nice since I had him. Now that I have him around, he can get work done, and I get to catch up on some things that I haven't had a chance to do in a long time. I'm running again. That's excellent. And yeah, let's can't expect for anything more.